At 9:45 a.m., and you have the exhibit, but it's down here, we know there's a screenshot. What that means is at 9:45 a.m., Conrad Murray is looking at his phone, and this screenshot is on the phone. So he's gotten off the phone with Chanel. He's now checking his emails. Conrad Murray would have you believe that Michael Jackson is laying there complaining that he needs sleep while Conrad Murray does this. We know from the screenshot that there's this email from Bob Taylor regarding artist insurance. And we recover the email. And again, you'll have it in evidence. It can hardly be seen there. But it's a very lengthy, detailed email received at 5:54 a.m. Many questions, many concerns about getting insurance for the tour, many questions and many concerns about Michael's health condition. And we know through this email and through the expressions of concern for Michael's health, we know Conrad Murray read it because we have the screenshot here from his iPhone showing the same email is open and being read. This is following the 9:23 phone call. This is following the 9:45 screenshot showing that he opened the email, and then goes straight into additional phone calls. 10:14, 10:20. We also know he authored a response. We know he did this on his iPhone. This is a screenshot showing the keyboard, showing the text of the response. And we know that was eventually sent at 11:17 a.m. to Mr. Taylor. Not only does this reveal some of the activities of Conrad Murray during this time period, but again, it's the deception and the lies of Conrad Murray. We're on this very day, on June 25th, 2009, at 11:17 a.m., as Michael lay in bed under the influence of propofol and Valium and the other benzodiazepines, Conrad Murray is sending emails to people saying that the health concerns or the published accounts of Michael's health are fallacious. That was his word in the email. He's discounting any concerns regarding Michael's health. This is on June 25th at 11:17 a.m. that this email is sent from Conrad Murray's own iPhone. As far as the statements of his health published by the press, let me say they're all fallacious to the best of my knowledge. Sincerely, Conrad Murray, sent from my iPhone. And again, June 25th, 2009, 11:17 a.m. Despite his knowledge, despite everything everyone's told him, despite the May 10th recording, despite what he surely witnessed every single day, he is still basing his accounts on deception and lies. Because he is providing a service. He is an employee who is saying yes to what is asked instead of saying yes to what is best for Michael Jackson's health, as any competent, ethical doctor would do, premised on a doctor-patient relationship, not an employer-employee relationship. The phone calls continue. 11:18, there's a 32-minute phone call to his practice. There's a phone call to Bridget Morgan, Robert Russell. And then we get to the 11:51 a.m. phone call where he calls Sade Andy. And you have to ask, with Michael Jackson laying there in whatever condition he may have been at the moment, what was so important to Conrad Murray that he had to call Sade Anding at that time? What was so important to this doctor that he needed to call one of his female friends in Houston? What was so pressing that he just couldn't care for Michael Jackson that he had to call Sade Anding? We know from that call, after he calls Miss Anding, she's talking away and she says about 5 minutes into the phone call, I'm getting no response. I'm saying things, he's not responding. I hear some muffled coughing or noises in the background. She can't make out who it is or what it is. She eventually hangs up. She tries to reach Conrad Murray via, I believe, text and phone call, and is not able to make contact with him. Circumstantially, this may be the moment Conrad Murray finds Michael Jackson not breathing. It directly contradicts Conrad Murray's statement to the police that he went to the bathroom for 2 minutes and came back and found him not breathing. But circumstantially, this may establish when Conrad Murray found Michael Jackson in bed. How long Michael Jackson was there by himself, abandoned, not breathing, we'll never know. What you could circumstantially conclude is this is when Conrad Murray gave just an ounce of attention to Michael Jackson to see what his condition was. But again, how long he had been in that condition, we'll never know. Was Conrad Murray in another room? Did Michael Jackson yell out for help? Did he gasp? Did he choke? Were there sounds? We don't know. And we'll never know. Because of the neglect and negligence of Conrad Murray. Following this, we know, again, based on the phone records, that there's a 1212 phone call to Michael Amir Williams, which we already discussed. Doesn't tell him to call 911. It's 1215 return call from Michael Amir Williams, where he actually speaks to Conrad Murray. Following up on the 1213 voicemail message, Conrad Murray tells in the message again, call me right away, please, please, call me right away. Thank you. You've heard that message and you have it in evidence. When he calls back, he speaks to Conrad Murray at 12:15 p.m. based on Conrad Murray telling him he needs to get to the house. He makes a series of phone calls. He reaches Fahim Muhammad, who's run to the bank and is a few minutes away. He tells Fahim, double back to the house. He says, I will, but I am a few minutes away. He eventually makes contact with Alberto Alvarez, who is in the security shack, and tells Alberto Alvarez, start walking toward the house. And he's talking on the phone as he's doing this. And Alberto Alvarez proceeds to the glass doors that were shown to you earlier. Michael Amir Williams is saying, don't raise too much concern, but walk quickly. Okay, get going, get going. Alberto Alvarez goes to the door. He looks up and he sees Conrad Murray leaning over the banister. He sees, I believe, the nanny and Paris in the foyer area. He gets into the house. He's still on the phone. He goes upstairs, and he eventually terminates the phone call with Michael Amir Williams. We know he goes into the bedroom. And as he's in the room, he walks in, essentially, what happened? And what he hears are cries behind him. What he hears is Paris screaming out, Daddy. So he quickly turns and ushers Paris out of the room. He comes back in, and Conrad Murray is over on the far side of the bed. He's grabbing vials, and he instructs Alberto, pick up that bag. Drops the vials into the bag, and those are put into one of Conrad Murray's, evidently one of his medical bags. He then tells him, grab that saline bag. And remember, there's 2 saline bags hanging from the IV stand. There's 2 saline bags. And he specifically instructs him, grab that one. The one Alberto Alvarez describes as having a bottle inside of it. He's never told to grab the other saline bag. He's told specifically to grab the one that Alberto Alvarez saw a bottle within. I asked Alberto Alvarez, what was going on in your head at this time? What were you thinking? He thought he was helping the doctor prepare to go to the hospital.